Welcome to the fine print, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Caleb Teskey, coming at you with another great guest today, as usual. I want to thank everyone yesterday who tuned in to my interview with Dustin Hawksworth from Fat Nugs Magazine. That was a fantastic interview. Really good stuff. And on Sunday, I've got another great interview with Leslie Angleking, and we've been trying to coordinate here for a while. Leslie is involved in worker safety in the cannabis industry, and I'm super happy to have Leslie coming on here. On the 21st, I got Christian from Ratu's, a dispensary owner here in Vermont. And then on the 24th, I've got Nick Heilig, who I met at the Far Side show in Stowe a couple of weeks ago, and super excited for that one. You know, I've also been communicating with Elliot Lewis from Catalyst out in California. I've got Araldo from Doughboy coming on the 30th. Just a laundry list of great guests here. And my guest today is a guy that's been on the show before, and I want to say this before we get into it. I've been telling all the artists in Vermont, if you have a new project that's coming up, if you're putting out a new album or whatever the fuck you're doing, hit me up. If you would like an interview, I will get you in. And that's what we got tonight. We've got an artist here who has taken me up on that offer, and I'm super happy about it. I can't wait to hear about this shit. Let's just bring him on here. Boom. Whoa, wait a minute. Hold up. There we go. Hey, it's Rob Hartzell, Robscure. Rob, thank you for being back on the program here tonight, man.
Yeah, good to see you, bro. Thanks for having me back.
Can I ask you, man, because I had a blast interviewing you the last time. How has life been treating you since we last spoke?
That was spring or maybe last winter.
Yeah, I feel like it was. Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, feels like a year. Man, life's been up, down, back around. But yeah, it's been a whirlwind, but focusing on the good for sure.
I'd like to just shamelessly plug, since we talked, I've been listening to a lot of your music, and I want to just do a couple of shameless screen shares if we could. And just here's one. Oh, did that work? Boom, Pilot.
Yeah.
This was a fantastic tune with Riven. Is that how you say it?
Ravon.
Okay, cool. Great tune. I've been banging this in my car frequently since our interview. And boy, this whole album. This is the Air album. Is that right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about why you're focusing on the elements?
They're just I'm just drawn to them. Yeah, I just relate to that way of breaking down the world. Everything's complicated, so it's nice to try to just see the world through that lens of different elements that interact with each other and are kind of all part of the same thing but separate.
I'm gonna do a couple more if you don't mind.
Oh, dude, go for it. I appreciate you picking out things to shout out.
Yeah. And here's another one. It's a tune I've really been digging a lot as well. Caterpillar.
Hey. Yeah, that one was, I think, the only song I've released this year other than the singles leading up to the project I'm about to release. So that one's definitely like a good landmark in time.
Yo, and I think you released this one after our last interview.
Yeah. Pretty much the only release like in between Air and the Water project I'm about to release.
Will you tell us a little bit about filming that video? Because you've got a lot of different shots in different spots and different effects, and that seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, well, it is a lot of work, and I'm like getting to the point where I want to make the trade-off to like make more money for the time being at a real job so that I can invest in like professional videos and like pay professionals to really do that work so I can kind of focus. But I do want to get more into like having the artistic direction in videos, which I kind of have up till this point, directing my own videos. But yeah, it's a lot of work. I shot that one just on my iPhone. I had help from my one of my good friends, also a rapper. He goes by Tuck. Well, his real name is Tucker Odom. That's what he goes by for the time being. We have a little EP together back in the day, but he helped me shoot that. Without going like too much into it, the song was originally just the first verse, and we went to shoot pretty much all of it at the park that I don't know if you even see it in any shots except the little like end credit shot. But we were shooting there for not that long at all, maybe 10-15 minutes. And then we were like carrying something for a prop, and I like looked behind me to say something to Tucker, and somebody just started like letting off, like shooting in the opposite direction, thankfully, but like right behind him. And so we dropped our stuff and kind of like got out of there. And those guys were kind of like chasing each other right around, like, we were just trying to get back, basically, get out of the way. And so that whole thing went down. And so I ended up shooting the rest of it just like in my apartment. And I actually wrote the second verse kind of after the fact. And it's kind of like meta because it kind of incorporated some of the shit that happened during the shoot of the original video.
Wow. That sounds a little scary.
Yeah, it was definitely intense. I guess makes for a good story.
I got one more here that I'd like to shamelessly plug before we move on to the new shit. This is really one of my favorite tunes here. And I'm going to do a shameless plug for you, robscure.bandcamp.com. Open the Window with Junie the Wiccan. I've been jamming on that heavily. Great stuff here, Rob.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, shout out to Junie, shout out to Ravon.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of talented people from Vermont that I've gotten to work with.
Mm-hmm. And I believe Eva Rawlings. Eva
Rawlings, yeah.
That was a great track too. Cool. So let's dig into the new shit here, Rob. This is what you hit me up for, and I'm so glad you hit me up because you're the first person to take me up on this offer to plug a project, and I appreciate it, man. And I'd love to hear what you got going on now, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you. Well, I have another project coming out next month, December. It's the third installment of the Element series. It's called Water. So it incorporates themes of water, wordplay. Sonically, I tried to evoke the element of water through the production, through the mixing. So yeah, this one's more than half self-produced by me, which is more taking on more producer responsibility than I had with the last two. But yeah, I think it's some of my best work. I've been working on it for over a year. Have a couple features on this one too, which are kind of like bigger features for me. The second single I dropped last week or a couple weeks ago features CJ Fly from Pro Era, which is Joey Badass's crew that they all came up with. And that's out everywhere. There's going to
be will you tell us about CJ a little bit, please?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you haven't heard of him, check him out. He's represents that old school New York shit that all of Pro Era kind of got their start with. Yeah, he's on a lot of the Pro Era shit, and dope artist. He's got an album coming out now. That's kind of how I thought to reach out to him. He's got an album coming out with this guy Stoic, who's one of my favorite producers that I met a little bit before him and have been in contact with. So it just kind of felt like the right timing to do it.
And there was another name on here, and I want to hear. I brought this up here to slap a shameless slap.
Oh, yeah.
Boom. Robscure, Sol ChYld was who I wanted to ask you about next.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
So that's the shit I got dropping tomorrow. It's gonna be a music video with Sol ChYld. She's an incredible young MC. She's like my age, 20, 23, 24. she's been getting noticed by Dreamville lately, which is J. Cole's label, and a lot of my favorite artists are on that. Smino, Saba, Earth Gang, JID, or associated with that collective. So it's pretty cool to be collaborating with her kind of in the midst of it just kind of worked out luckily like that she's kind of like blowing up right now. So yeah, who knows? Maybe they'll see the video, but she's super dope. She killed it. Her stage presence is incredible. You'll see it in the video. And
have you guys done any shows together?
No, I met her at the same show I met Stoic at. It's really like which is CJ Fly's the producer he's collaborating with. So it's really a small world. That's what keeps blowing my mind. And just today I was at Washington Square Park, which is like my favorite place in the city. And I did this there's this guy on Instagram who another producer who has this thing called Take a Seat, Rap on the Beat. And it's just what it sounds like. So I've seen that.
I've seen some of those videos. Yeah.
I hit that up today and he told me, he's like, oh, I told him about the song dropping tomorrow, and he's like, Sol ChYld was literally just here like 2 hours ago. So it's crazy, bro. It's a small world in the big city.
Did you do a rap for him?
Yes, I did. Hopefully he'll post it in the next few weeks. We'll see.
That'd be sick. Oh, excellent. Yeah, I've been watching, and some of those videos are just killer, man. I saw one guy, it was a cop. He had a cop sitting down with him who he kicked kind of a nice rap for a cop. I was like, all right.
Definitely the nicest cop I've ever heard rap.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I'd like to ask you also about a person named Art Morera.
I meant to say that. I didn't want to cut the shout out to Sol ChYld short, but I meant to say that. Yeah, Art's a great guy and an amazing artist. He, as his, he's aptly named. But yeah, he's been directing videos for Homeboy Sandman lately, which is honestly currently my favorite artist, or at least my favorite MC. So it's super cool to work with him. He's been working with Nate, who I live with now, Nate Remes. They did
together. I just talked to Ethan last night.
Oh, sick. But yeah, so it's cool. It was really dope to work with Art. I've done one video with KTJ back in the day, and she's a professional videographer. But yeah, this was definitely like the most professional thing I've done lately, and I'm really hyped with how it turned out. Art absolutely killed it.
And you said, I remember talking to you about this last time about, I was like, who does your videos? And you were like, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
which was wild to me. And you said, I feel like you said that you've done a lot of the production work yourself. So I assume you're still making some of these beats.
I made the beat for the track that's coming out, Loch Ness, with Sol ChYld. Made that beat. I made the beat on the first single I dropped, Stream of Consciousness, and then there's a little switch up at the end, which my homie Cam Barnes did. And it's funny that all these people are coming up, because after this interview, I'm going to pop by a show that Ravon and Cam Barnes are playing. So it's just I love that, how intertwined hip hop is, especially like with roots in Vermont. It's such a close knit thing, but it's cool to see it like branching out here. But yeah, sorry, to the video point, yes, except for that one with KTJ back in the day called Different. My homie Connor has shot a lot of videos for me, and my friend Musa. Like I get friends to help shoot the shit. But yeah, I've shot a lot of them myself, and I've edited them all myself. So I'm hyped about this one with Art, because you can tell I didn't edit it. It's like it's a cut above the rest,
Can you tell us what type of software or gear that you're using to produce your beats, Rob?
Yeah, I use Ableton to make beats, and I use Logic to record and mix.
Wait, you're so quick with the answers. I want to just get myself off the screen.
No, so yeah, I use Ableton for production. I just find it like the workflow is quicker. And I use Logic for recording and mixing, mastering. I find it's just like the simplest interface, or like the most straightforward, intuitive for me, because I I was first fucking around on GarageBand, and Logic looks almost identical. So
yeah,
that's kind of
yeah,
what I use both of them for different things.
Now, let me ask you, what's the difference between mixing an album that's air and an album that's earth and an album that's water? And maybe I assume there's a fire album coming at some point.
Definitely. I mean, you know, with the third one out, I can't stop there, you know. And that one's pretty much all written anyway, so it's just going to be a matter of like recording that one, getting some features on it and mixing it. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the past two projects, this one and Air, I've gotten a lot better at mixing. So I feel like with Earth, I definitely was like trying, but I wasn't like skilled enough to be like to make conscious choices of like I'm gonna like, you know, have more low end here to make it sound denser and earthier. Like I wasn't super thinking like that. I was starting to get there, but I think like with Air, it's like very crispy and polished and like shiny, and with Water, it's just gonna be very like dynamic and like immersive, I guess is what I'm going for. Yeah.
I love your style, Rob.
But to be honest, I think after this, maybe after Fire, but I want to start transitioning to like outsourcing some of the mixing stuff, just because I want to get I want to dedicate more time to like getting better at production. I feel like I'm starting to get there, so I want to go deeper into that, and then just like not get complacent and plateau with my writing, you know, because mixing is very time consuming for me. I like doing it. I like the creative control, but it's a lot. So we'll see going forward if my workflow starts to change a little bit, especially as I'm collaborating with more people, and frequently, hopefully that'll turn into like something resembling a team.
You did say at one point, I believe on a song, that you caught a vibe that you can't really improve. Oh no. How do you improve on a vibe that you've caught that you can't really improve? Because I know that you reach these different plateaus sort of as an artist, and it sometimes it seems like you've maxed out, but there's always another level. It feels like when you deal with any kind of artistic vision, and I'm curious if you got any thoughts on that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, best is subjective, so I feel like that's what makes it so that you can never resign yourself to having already made your best shit, because you can make something different that's also really good that might be somebody's favorite thing that you did. So I think it's just more trying different angles with what you know, and just trying to get more and more, become more and more a master of what you know, and just try different angles. And I don't know, I think it's like it can steer you wrong to just go for being better, because I don't know, you have to have some, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but like I just think that's kind of an egotistic way to like, and don't get me wrong, like rappers are egotistical. That's like egotistical. That's part of hip hop, you know, where but but you know, I think to stay happy making art and to actually make better shit, there has to be some level of just like pure curiosity and joy and like love for the experience of like making something new that you haven't done. And I think that's usually how people make something better than they did before, is they just applied the same like presentness. And if you're thinking about best, you're also thinking about what came before, so you're not really present, you know. But that song is just kind of about like a mood, you know, like I can't improve this mood. I love that song, but hopefully I'll do ones that are as good and better in the future.
I'm up and I'm not coming down soon. Yeah, that's a good tune.
You already know.
Yeah, I'm with Robscure. The single is Loch Ness with Sol ChYld. Yeah, shameless plugs here. Rob, maybe before we get out of here, you could tell us if you have any shows coming up, and also maybe you could just shamelessly plug where everyone can find your music at. I know I've shown the I'm gonna do one more maybe for your Bandcamp here. Wait, where's the Bandcamp? There we go. Robscure.bandcamp.com. You can find some of his music there. If you would like to plug all the rest of the shit, and I don't know if you got any shows coming up, but I'd sure like to hear about them if you do, my friend.
Well, I actually don't have anything on the books right now because I've been just fully focused on rolling out this project. But I am planning to do a release party for it, so that'll be early December. Shit, if you're in New York, I'm gonna be chilling for my birthday this weekend, kind of low key, just personally celebrating this video. So that'll be the 18th. But yeah, the release party thing will be like a show, and then after that, I definitely want to get back into doing shows regularly. So more on that when that bridge gets here. But in terms of finding my stuff, yeah, Bandcamp is cool, especially for people who like to support monetarily, for anyone who can and wants to. But yeah, I know Caleb doesn't use Spotify, which my hat's off to you, sir. Respect.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I know.
But,
I don't like the way they operate. Yeah.
No, that's fair. I don't either. I would love to get paid more than 0.000
more than nothing.
Stream,
Yeah.
But you know, I think the artists the musicians will unionize. The actors just finish theirs. So anyway, for the time being, if you listen on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, YouTube, whatever, you can find me there, Robscure. Should see it on the screen, Robscure. Yeah, trying to get the numbers up on Spotify. I just cracked 1,000 listeners for the first time in my personal history. So it feels good, even though numbers are just numbers and there's a long way to go.
Yeah.
So trying to keep that going. Subscribe to me on YouTube so you don't miss any videos, which are also going to be coming consistently and have been for the past couple months. But yeah, social media is Robscure. Same thing. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. Yeah.
Did we miss anything, Rob?
I don't know.
Is there any other?
Now.
Well, go ahead. I always like to leave the last word for the guest. So if you missed anything that you want to talk about, or there's any shameless plugs or shout outs that we missed, now's the time, my friend. I'd like to thank you for being here, Bob. I really
thanks for having me.
Speaking with you. Yeah, I love speaking with you. I love listening to your music, and it's a pleasure to have you back on the show, man.
Yeah, thank you, bro. I appreciate your time. Thanks for having me on your platform. No, I think we covered it all pretty much. I'm really excited about this project. I'm excited to have it out. Excited for people to hear it. And so yeah, that's all I really hope for it, is that you hear it. If you dig it, share it. But just tune in. Check it out. Water dropping next month, December. Loch Ness dropping the day you're seeing this or after you saw this, featuring Sol ChYld, directed by Art Morera. And yeah, stay tuned.
Rob Hartzell, Robscure, thank you for joining me again. I'm going to pull myself back up. Pleasure speaking with you again, Rob. I'll blast this up tomorrow as soon as I wake up. And remember, the devil's in the details, guys, and the details are in the fine print.